Welcome to Big Blend Radio with travel writer Linda Kissam, the food, wine, and shopping diva. Welcome, everyone. It is the first Saturday here in the month of March, and spring is popping up across the country, depending on where you are. But you never know what can happen. But doesn't matter what time of year, there are camping opportunities everywhere. And Linda Kissam, the diva, food, wine, and shopping diva, is back here. She's here every first Saturday. And we also have Robert Schueller back from Melissa's Produce. So go to melissas.com. He's here every season or so talking about, different fresh produce, specialty produce, clean snacks, and just all kinds of deliciousness, gift baskets, you name it. But Diva Linda, I love this because you're in Arizona during the cool months, and then the warm months, you're out floating in your camper that can sail in the Pacific Northwest and British Columbia. So you understand the world of camping, and that's what we're talking about. Really good food that you can make and enjoy when you're on a camping trip. So in Arizona, people are camping right now.
Yep.
So that's happening, right, Linda? Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Very
Hey.
excited about this episode, this interview. It's really camping, as you say, camping is not just in a camper. It is in many, many things. And an example, I live on a boat for about 6 months a year, and it is like living in a camper, actually. You have to be very careful about how much food you bring into your boat because there's no room. So you have to make choices that make sense and are sustainable for what you want to do. So an example, when we take the boat out and go into Canada, I better make sure that I'm stocked with American stuff because I like it. Canadians are much more healthy than we are. It's difficult to get used to their food. So anyway, camping is great. And today we're going to talk about upscale camping quite a bit because that's of interest to me. And I know Robert can help us out and make sure that we get the right foods for what we're doing.
Exactly. And, you can go in RVs and tenting. Glamping is huge across the country. I have a friend whose company actually makes those big glamping tents for around the world for, eco resorts around the world. Yeah, and trust me, these people in that glamp have blenders, they have like the full kitchen setup even in a tent. And this also is like the leading way for multi-generational camping opportunities, which is a beautiful thing. But a lot of times when you're camping, you want something healthy to eat as well, but it doesn't mean come on, man, you can amp it up. And that's why Robert is here. So Robert, you've got some good statistics on what's happening in the camping world because apparently it's kind of, more and more people are getting out there, but I think multi-generational it's happening because of RVs, because of these glamping resorts and you can even get a little cabin in a campground now. It's really changed up.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you, ladies, for having me on today. Just a couple of fun facts about the camping world and market here in the United States. The active camper households in the United States, this is a statistic from 2023, was over 90 million. So that's basically one out of every four Americans have camped. Households who camped at least once in 2023, 55 million. First-time camper households in 2023, 11 million. I think a lot had to do with COVID and people, looking for new ideas on getting out and enjoying nature there. Look at this one, U.S. RV households. I think we were talking about this earlier, that people really got into RVs and fifth wheels as a way for kind of more of a glamping than your traditional tent. Approximately 14 million Americans have them, and then believe it or not, the top camping states in 2023, my hometown and my state of California, Texas, and Florida. But camping is not limited to just those states. Those states just have a lot of space, ideal weather, national parks. Camping in Southern California is a year-round sport, but throughout most of America, because there's a lot of states that have snow or freezing temperatures, it's more of a Memorial Day to Labor Day thing.
However, you've got, okay, so here's a different form of camping. Okay, Minnesota, which is a state we cover because they're part of the Jefferson Highway. And of course, Nancy and I travel full time. So we're digital nomads, and there are a gazillion people like us, normally a little bit younger than us, to be really honest, who live in vans. Van camping and lifestyle is massive. People getting school buses and renovating them. And it's, you should all see what comes on my phone. Well, maybe you shouldn't, but you should see. I've got so many people that I follow that live like we do. And, it's, but they've got these vans that they cook in, but you can only have so much. And what you want in there is going to have to be real good quality. But up in Minnesota, here's a different version of camping: ice fishing. Y'all, have you seen this? That's insane. Okay. I hats off to these people doing it, but they are in those little ice hut things. I think that's camping. You're sitting there in ice. I don't know. I would need tequila or something, and I would need like a little cooking stove, but I would be scared that I would go through the ice. But that is a form of camping because they're camping out in the ice to do this. And then some places you can camp in igloos in the snow and the ice. So there's tree houses that people go camping in. There's so many different ways, and we see this as we travel the country that there's people. You're talking about Texas. It's a massive state, and there are so many people in RVs in Texas. Trust me, on those highways, I've been down just about every single highway in Texas, and they're traveling, and they have rest areas, picnic sites, because you need to pull over because it's a big, big state. Like California is massive, and you have one of the top state park systems in California. Like you have a few hundred parks, and that you have a state park week coming up too, so people should watch for that, where it's all kinds of opportunities to camp, to go to experiences. So anyway, I got all excited because we're talking about parks, camping, and eating. And Diva Linda, we both got another awesome delivery thanks to Robert and Melissa's. And I we are on the road, so even if we're not camping and we're pet sitting, we have to live small in what we carry and do. And it's like you go to a grocery store, we don't buy the big jar of mayonnaise. We're little, right? So Linda, you're the same way. And I'm telling you, what you have created with these camping kits, basically, I'm calling them camping kits. I'm talking camping cuisine works. Wouldn't you say, Linda, when you were going through all of this?
Absolutely. Every one of them could find a space on my boat, and they're just great. I mean, we have obviously we have the clean snacks, which are, my husband is a big snacker. You usually find him looking in the pantry or looking in the refrigerator. So clean snacks, he loves those, and those are wonderful, and you ought to try those. Those are good for you too. The Hatch salsa. Oh, it's my favorite salsa ever. It's really good. It comes in a smaller jar, which is nice. The shape makes it easy to put on little shelves or in little places. And just as Lisa was saying, you got to live small, not large. Everything's got to be smaller. The largest item I have on my boat is an espresso machine. And let me tell you, that was a bargaining tool with my husband, because there's really no place to put it. And if you hit a rough spot, it rolls. But anyway, also I love I always love the crepes. If you like crepes, these are already done. They're beautiful. They taste great. They store well. They store without refrigeration, which is really nice.
And on the crepes, did you get the little fruit, the little ones, the little crepes, the mini rolled with fruit stuffed in them?
Oh,
it's already done, like mango and fresh fruit. And then like what I love too is you've got the sauces, which you were going to talk about too. I know the chocolate strawberry, but you have the hollandaise sauce too. Who says we can't have a champagne brunch in the wild? Come
I
on
mean,
now. Yeah.
it's really quite wonderful. And actually, those little crepes are really good in a purse to take with you if you are not seeking lunch, but you're hungry or whatever. They're very satisfying, and it is like a dessert. It's really, really, they're very well made. Whoever came up with that, Robert, they were pretty darn smart, in my opinion. And you know, one of the things that when you're on living small is ingredients that you can't necessarily keep. So they have dried mushrooms, and these dried mushrooms reconstituted are just fabulous and tasty. So you know, you can have gourmet cuisine without a lot of trouble. And this is really, gosh darn. Oh, you know what's great is the hot honey. Who thought of that? Is that a trend? I don't know.
Yes,
It is
honey's
good.
really big on like if you're making like a camping charcuterie boards, grazing boards, very popular for special events, and you can do that camping as well. And you know, with some crackers or cheese and prosciutto, and of course all your different favorite veggies and fruits. You can be a gourmet camping as well.
Mm. Well, with the honey too. Okay, so this is really good to use as a marinade if you're barbecuing, because a lot of us have got camp. Depending on what your permit, check if you can camp with an open flame. Okay, so everyone just know that part. Sometimes you have the barbecues at your campground, and just always make sure about if it's fire restrictions or not for the day. But normally you've got something you can camp with, you know, but it's all different. But if you're barbecuing, that hot honey on like a chicken, on some pork, I'm just saying, y'all, like that is some good, good stuff. Also, Linda, you were talking about salsa. I'm jealous now, but this hot sauce, I think it was the last time oh my gosh. Okay,
The Costa
Robert,
Azul hot sauce.
dude,
It's like a
this,
sriracha sauce.
it is, listen, that needs to be there forever. Don't ever get rid of it. It is, no one's allowed to have it. We all tried it. We had like over fall, we had like one cooking thing after the other with my friend Eva when we were in Tucson and we got that delivery. We baked a, you know, pink pineapple upside down cake with fresh pineapple and made a fresh cake, and it was from a recipe off your site, melissas.com, and it turned out so amazing with the Grenache from Peggy's wine at LDV Winery. So this was the perfect pair. I'm just saying. But when we got to this hot sauce, I let everybody taste it and I ran and I stashed it that nobody else can have it. And it's mine. And I'm just going to say, if I mess up on my cooking, this is my go-to because no one will know, but they will taste this deliciousness. That sriracha sauce, that is really good for barbecue too, man. Oh, sorry, but you love your salsa, Linda, and I want the salsa, but have you tried this hot sauce? Because you will love this. It's
Good.
got that spicy, but the little sweet in there. Like it's perfect.
Yeah, the Costa Azul sauce is
Mm,
actually made from red jalapeno. So it's not a super hot sauce,
mm.
but adds spiciness to a dish. And like as simple as making a condiment where you use the sauce in mayonnaise, if you're making like a sandwich or enjoying a hot dog or a hamburger or something like that, it pairs well as a condiment on bread, on tortillas, slider.
Guacamole.
Mm-hmm. And
We put it with
yeah,
guacamole on the side. Oh yeah, it was good in the guacamole. Sorry, it was good. Sorry, Linda, I got excited.
Well, now I'm excited. I'm
Well,
not sure I've
you
had
must,
that yet.
you
I might,
must.
maybe, I don't think so though. So I don't know.
Oh,
Robert, what do you think are the most important things to take on a glamping camping experience of your
okay.
products? What do you like?
Thank you, Linda. It comes down to, you know, camping is more than just having hot dogs and marshmallows. And just because you're camping doesn't mean you have to eat, you know, uh, ready to go meals. A lot of the products that Melissa's does, first of all, we're a produce company, and the largest variety supplier of produce. And we have different lines of products that fit within this camping, glamping. You can eat gourmet and be on the road at the same time. So, first of all, snacks. And the snacks is the trend towards eating healthy, having a healthier life and healthy living. And these snacks provide a diverse flavor and health benefits. And so, a good example of that, and you guys each got samples, is the clean snacks that Melissa's does. We do it for 12 different varieties. This looks like it looks like a sugar cube, but it's non-granola, and it's just tree nuts, clean snacks, and chia seeds. And what tastes like granola is the only non-granola product that tastes like granola that you would find in produce departments. And there's like 12 different varieties. You know, you'll find your favorite flavor, whether it's
cranberry.
Which one's yours?
Cranberry.
Yeah, with the chia seeds.
Cranberry. We actually just introduced, this makes a good segue because last week we just introduced 2 new varieties. We now do a chocolate clean snack and a furikake, which is a Asian, it has like nori seaweed. So it's a savory variety because a lot of the clean snacks are more sweet. Because they're sweetened with fruits or other nuts and stuff like that. So those are 2 new line to the clean snacks. So some other examples of some snacks that are handy and ready to go. There's no necessarily needed things that you need to do with these snacks, but we do a cocoa snacks, which is coconut based. Instead of tree nuts, it's just coconut. We do a coconut one. We do a coffee cocoa snack, ginger cocoa snack. So for those who can't have tree nuts, coconut is actually not a nut, but it's a fruit, and it doesn't contain nuts, even though the name coconut implies it's a nut. It's not truly a nut, but it's a tree fruit. And that's an alternative to a clean snack. You were going to say something about that there, Lisa?
I'm just jumping up and down again. I love those. And the ginger is my favorite. Actually, it just is. They're chewy and crunchy, but they're not like chewy, like, like toffee. You know what I mean? And it's just the ginger gives you this little burst of energy. It's yummy and it's easy to take with you. And yeah, because I know a lot of people have tree nut allergies, and these are like the perfect. Oh boy, that is like I think one of the best clean snacks you have personally. But then, okay, because I know you've also got ones with the was it pepitas, the pumpkin seed ones for clean
Yes.
snacks? That's one of my favorites. Are you still doing my chickpeas?
We do are you referring, well, not the dried ones, but we do a steamed chickpea, which is part of the whole steam line of of, steamed, ready to go out of the package, like steamed beets, lentils,
those are good.
peas, artichokes. But no, unfortunately, I know what you're talking about. A product that we had a few years ago. It was like a dried chickpea, almost like a corn nut, but they were crunchy.
Oh,
and yeah. We don't do that product anymore. We're going to try to reintroduce it and come under a version that's not as crunchy and hard. So that's something to look forward to the future there, because a lot of that we carry snacks are high protein. Something that you want to have is high protein when you're camping as well, because, when you go camping, people like to go hiking or fishing, sightseeing, bird watching and stuff. You're out in nature. You need a lot of energy, before you make your way back to your home base, whether it's a boat or RV or a tiny home cabin or something like that. And so another aspect of great camping essentials, which we consider, are some of the many dry fruit options. This is beyond like raisins or something like that. And these are healthy sources of carbohydrates, which is rich in potassium. And that's a mineral that helps prevent muscle cramps. When you're going for long walks or hikes, and something that happens there. And also, many of the dry fruits have essential nutrients, vitamins and minerals, fructose and fiber, which your body needs when exerting energy, after going for a long hike or walk. And so some of the examples that I might have sent you were some of our organic dates, that are rolled up in
so good for you,
or almond, or just plain seedless or pitted dagat, nor dates, and the most popular, which are medjool dates. And again, these have all those nutritions, which is good to have energy to keep up during the day.
It's really important for those who are tend to get towards sunstroke and heat stroke and things like that or if you're in really cold climates. This kind of food really helps get back on track, because some people do just pass out from heat. If you're out hiking, sugar and these kind of like dates are so perfect because it also has a lot of water in them. Dates are really, really good for you. And they grow really well in this country.
Yes.
Almost organically. They Yuma, Arizona, Indio, those areas grow them. And they are such a good crop to grow. And I learned that they are, and so I was wondering about that with coconut, because I know they're not a tree nut, but dates, it is actually a grass, not a tree. A palm tree is not a tree. It is actually a grass. So I'm always thinking about this is years of ancient times. Dinosaurs knew to eat coconuts and dates because of grass. We're actually eating the seeds of grasses.
Yeah. Okay. So the third camping essential, which is basic proteins that I had mentioned, is Melissa's offers a whole variety of nuts. Whether you grab some of your favorite nuts and mix them with the dry fruits, you can make your own trail mixes. Melissa offers a whole line of pecans that are hatch spiced. We offer macadamia nuts, hazelnuts, even like red walnuts or pine nuts.
So, the pine nuts.
Whether you love just peanuts or all these different mixed nuts, this is how you're going to get a lot of good proteins as well that you can mix and match with, pretzels, different dry fruits like dried cranberry, dried mango. And that again is another way that you can lift and increase not only the essentials when you're camping for energy, but also make it fun for the whole family, and putting like a homemade selection of nuts and dry fruit to make a trail mix during your stay or wherever you're camping.
And it's good for if you're making a salad, like in your cabin, if you get, number one, spinach and cabbage last longer than like iceberg or whatever, and romaine will even do a little bit longer. So when you are looking at driving somewhere and taking produce like that, look at those. We use the spinach and the beets together with pine nuts on a salad. And did we mention your red onions? That goes well with it too. Just saying, for a little kick in there for the salad. You got all kinds of onions, and those are good for easy carrying and for barbecue. All the shallots, the onions, all of that too. So that's a good camping thing.
Yeah, and with that, some of the essentials of herbs and stuff like that, whether it's onions, shallots, or garlic, Melissa offers, and this is very convenient when you're camping, is peeled garlic, which is ready to go. The party like crowd, spend time peeling and chopping and stuff like that. So a lot of the value-added items are popular when you're going on a camping trip as well. But when you're glamping and your RV, what I consider like an RV pantry, or in Linda's case, small kitchens that you find on your boats or yachts, or when you're sailing there, you can really do some gourmet products there. Some of these products are shelf stable because your space is also limited in these smaller kitchens there. And with these shelf stable products, you can extend the shelf life and have these convenient shortcuts for gourmet cooking. And we're talking about the sauces and the salsas. We do a product that I think you guys both have. We have a cooked quinoa, which is already ready to go, shelf stable, already ready to scoop out of the tube and enjoy quinoa. All you have to do is add some of your favorite dried fruits, some pine nuts, whatever you like on your quinoa. You can make a bowl. Or we also do a
I just want to say we've got a good recipe from you for that. And we'll link that in Linda's article. And everyone, the article is up on nationalparktraveling.com. Can I tell you what we did with the quinoa?
Okay, go ahead.
It's naughty, but really nice. Okay, because listen, no one should go out. You can go out with your snacks and everything early in the morning, but there's nothing like, okay, you can have your champagne brunch, right? You can have that when you're glamping, but who doesn't enjoy a good, campfire breakfast, right? The Dutch potatoes can come into play here, just saying, nice and easy. But the quinoa and the polenta that you have that has a little chili in it, you can do the same thing with this. Now, this is naughty, but it's nice. Get your skillet out, slice, you open up the quinoa or the polenta. It works with both because we've done both, and it was very naughty, but you open it out so it's a nice tube. You slice it into maybe, I think it's a quarter or a half-inch slices. You fry those babies with sausage and bacon, fry them into little patties. Oh, yeah. Sausage, bacon, little weenies. Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, mushrooms. Yes. Put that together, and that makes a very good, you can do your eggs. And in fact, if you've got quinoa left over, which we did, we cooked it one night. It was one breakfast. I made a scramble, an egg, sausage, and quinoa scramble that is to die for. And then you top it with a little of the Costa Azul hot sauce or sriracha, and you're ready for hiking, baby. You're good to go. So I'm sorry. I know you're supposed to do it a little healthier, Robert, but we didn't.
No, and you know that the quinoa, is one of those of all the grains, rices, couscous, stuff like that. Quinoa is like the king of offering most nutritionally dense in regards to that. So quinoa has been a big thing in bowls. Actually, on our website, and these were some recipes that I shared with you. If you want to share as well, we do a Campfire smoky quinoa power bowl, and this is something that you can have for like breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And you can go to melissas.com and look for the recipe as well. Again, it's called the Smoky Quinoa Power Bowl, and how easy it is with quinoa that's already ready to go. So you don't have to cook it for 40 minutes. Literally, the cooked quinoa is ready to go out of the package. You can actually just open up the package and just scoop it in. It's that easy to work with these products. So some of the other really easy to do products that you've mentioned, like the dessert sauces. When you're making a dessert, you can put that on a crepe. We do jarred pestos, whether you like tomato pesto or basil pesto. You can dollop that on like a cooked, whether it's cooked quinoa or the cooked polenta. You can make patties with polenta just as you did with the quinoa there, using hot sauces like the Costa Azul sauce to give it that gourmet flavor and just a little tinge of heat.
The honey works on the polenta too. So if you slice your polenta into slices, right, and you fry it in butter, like full on butter, no skimping, like, sorry, but I learned how to cook with butter recently, and I'm in trouble. I need to go for the hiking part of all of this badly. But now if you fry the polenta in a lot of butter that you're not supposed to, but it's so good, and then you top it once it's getting almost completely golden on both sides, you put some of that hot honey on there, and it cases it in hot. I'm just saying, we've been bad, Linda. Who says you have to be, you're being healthy, but I know you like the hot and spicy like I do.
I do.
The hot and
I do.
sweet and hot and spicy. But the polenta this way is naughty, but so good.
So good. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
You know what, Robert? Can you tell everyone how Melissa sources its products? I mean, do you like
Sure.
everything that you have is so good and clean. And incidentally, we'll talk about this a little later, but you can get it in most markets. But how do you source your stuff?
Okay, well, Melissa's is not only a domestic U.S. source on a lot of these camping essentials, mainly because most of all of our processing is in the United States. We do import from around the world. So when it's spring here, we can get fall fruits below the equator. Or when it's winter here, we can get summer fruits from below the equator. So we use Mother Nature as our guide in getting us through the many seasons throughout the United States. But all these jarred items and packaged items and processed items, like the polenta, the quinoa, the dessert sauces, all those items are all created and made here in the US of A. Like many of our products there, we do put product origins on our products labels, so you can check it there. Some of our fruits and vegetables, when it can't be grown in the United States, we will look throughout the rest of the global to be able to find them there. And we do business with about 45 different countries from around the world, and finding the best tasting produce that you can. And you can find our products in all 50 states and Canada.
And you know what? We just went through Hatch, New Mexico, and we waved at you, even though you're not there. I love Hatch, New Mexico. It's cute. It's got all kinds of funky little roadside attractions, but we did wave at you there. But she's so good because if that's part of getting your spices, right, is from like Hatch is known, and I know Colorado also does Hatch peppers, and they have a little war, but that's, we don't care about the war. We just want the food. But that's when it comes to, the notoriety of that. But the seasonings like Hatch, you do a lot with the peppers, from there. But the seasoning, I wanted to remember on that because you have the one seasoning that has a little like the Tuscan blend, things like that, where if you're camping or Linda's on the boat, and for us, I love your seasoning because it actually carries really well the way the jars are. And it's you're grinding it, so you're keeping things fresh. It's not just here's a powder. And then like the blends are really great if you're going camping and you don't have to cart your spice rack with you. It's all in one, So it's really cool that you do that.
Yes. So you're talking about two different products. So we do, when you talk about Hatch peppers, Melissa's is known for doing roastings when the Hatch chilies come into season. They come into season every August and September. We do these roastings throughout the country, and we do a whole line of products using Hatch, whether it's the Hatch clean snacks, the Hatch polenta. We do different spice blends. We do a red Hatch powder. We do a green Hatch powder. We do spiced pecans with Hatch powder on them. So first of all, we do all those, and they come out of Hatch, New Mexico, the famous area of chilies for the United States. And and that's when people buy the chilies, buy the cases, get them roasted down and put them in the freezer. But you can buy these whole line of products that have Hatch in there. But the Hatch salsa that Linda loves so much is available on a year-round basis. So the processed items that we create here in Hatch, New Mexico are also distributed throughout the rest of the year. But it seems like most often than not, you're going to see these products always found in your stores in August, September. Now, the second line of items there are our spice grinders. So we do a Himalayan pink sea salt,
awesome,
a rainbow pepper.
Oh, I like that one.
And we do an Italian blend of grinding with a grinder as well. We do like a everything but the everything. It's called an everything but it's kind of everything but the bagel spicing with sesame seeds and
that is
sea salt. So I love that. Put that not only on a bagel, but Also, unlike avocado toast, that's a good way to do it as well, or just on rice. And then we also do a pepper, kind of like an Asian spiced pepper as well. That's a newer one, and that goes under, if you go to melissas.com, under our spice grinder. So taking these gourmet ingredients, and they're very handy, shelf stable, not only adds flavor, but in many cases adds a little bit of heat. Nothing too hot, but
No, you have a good balance. Your
yes, a
heat
good
is
balance.
Yeah, Nancy doesn't do like a huge amount of heat, and she can do any of the products that you have, like all on heat wise. And so she likes her heat, but it just, our bodies change as we mature into adulthood.
So Robert, one of the best things about Melissa's in general, and for campers who are ready to start getting a list of what they want, you can find most everything in markets throughout, just like you said, but your website is amazing. And I wonder if you would talk a little bit about you have recipes, and you can it's easy to figure out the category you want, and then get a recipe if that's what you want. But it's a really good place to start. We've talked about a lot of stuff today, and you can go to the website. So can you tell us a little about what this website is so special?
Sure. So, when a lot of people think camping, they don't feel like they can do gourmet, and they have to do really simple packaged foods, but you don't necessarily need to do that. I think most people think, fruit, because fruit is very easy and portable, like tangerines and grapes and something like that. You don't necessarily need to refrigerate them too long, or need to refrigerate them for that matter. But then that gives me Linda gave me a perfect segue into the fifth essential part of bringing produce as a camping essential when you go camping. And that is this whole line of ready to go, what we call steamed vegetable line. And that's where we do the steamed and peeled beets, the steamed lentil, the steamed fava beans, the steamed chickpeas, the steamed 6-bean medley. So this is how you're going to get a lot of your vegetables in camping as well, because everybody thinks fruit is just so easy, which it is, but incorporating it into a meal prep that makes it really easy. For example, I'm sure you guys have tried the steamed beets or lentil.
Yeah.
Have literally, just like when I was talking about the cooked quinoa and the cooked polenta, you can literally eat the product out of the package. So the steamed beets is peeled and ready to go. So it saves you 40 minutes, because most often than not, when you go camping, you're not going to take the time to steam beets or lentils.
Or even prep them. Oh my gosh, no.
It takes a long time. It's messy. You don't have running water. You're going to have a problem. These are products that are already packaged, ready to go in like a cryovac packaging. And that is how you're going to get your veggies in. And also, because a lot of them are that I mentioned, like fava beans and lentils and 6-bean medley, all these and chickpeas, they're all protein rich. Again, protein is a focus as a food item when you're going camping, and we make it easier with this whole line of steamed vegetables.
And so when you get these, that every time I go to a grocery store, I look for Melissa's, right? And I want my potatoes in there, number one. That's my like go-to. But I did see some of the specialties that we just tried in Ingalls in Fairview, North Carolina. I'm sorry, but I have like grocery cards for the country, right? My wallet is grocery cards, anyways, because it's my new thing to collect. But but when I go, and they had some of the specialties, and I was like, no way. And where we were pet sitting, they had dragon fruit. I went, I know that's Melissa's. I know it is. I'm like, it was like, I'm gonna steal it, and I was good. I went to the store, but so when you look at these beans and everything, where Linda was talking about the website, so people can purchase them there, but can you purchase those in store? I wanted to people know if there's a difference on that, and going to your website, you can find out what stores you're at across the country.
Definitely. Well, you can go to our website and see our whole product line and stuff like that. To be able to going onto our website, you would actually just email through our website, give us your zip code, and we will tell you what product you're looking for at your local grocery store there. Because every single store, even though we do business in all 50 states, every store carries different Melissa items. Now, our signature item are our little Dutch potatoes that you been talking about there, Lisa. They're so much easier to cook when you're camping versus a big, large russet potato, which will take you a long time to cook and process.
Peel.
Baby potatoes are simple because you don't have to peel them. The cooking time is 5 times faster than a russet potato. And they're just, they taste buttery sweet versus high starchy and dry. So you don't have to, put as much butter.
And you got the gemstone ones. So you've got the ones of different colors. And so I have a new recipe that I've got to try because I learned this from the New York State Tourism Director that was recently on the show through the International Food Wine Travel Writers Association shows that we do, Linda. So I had to ask him. So I saw this thing going around about what is New Yorker cuisine, right? And I found out that they have hot buttered potatoes, and they take little potatoes and they dip them in salted potatoes. Yeah, salted. So you boil them in salt water, and then you dip them in hot butter. Now, if you're on a camping trip and it's a little snowy out there, I'm just saying, and I'm into butter, y'all. Come on, in the Southeast. I'm in. Like Flynn, give me butter. So I think that's going to be my new thing with the baby Dutch potatoes is tried these salted potatoes. Have you tried that, Linda?
I've not tried that, but
she's healthy.
Holy cow. Yum, yum. I usually soften the potatoes a little bit in the microwave and then cut them in half and saute them. And they're just, they're so good. And if I'm feeling like I really want a baked potato, I put sour cream on them and chives and butter. And and they're little, so you don't have to have a great big potato. They're wonderful. I love them.
They'll be great on a campfire in a foil packet. Put them in there, and you can even take like the steamed beets at the end and put them in there if you want to crisp them up a little bit. I love those steamed beets. You can put them in anything, and I don't have to look like I've made a bloody mess literally in the kitchen. I'm always scared of myself with beets, but they are so perfect. But I put garlic in with the potatoes and roast them with the onions. Now, when you had those pearl onions, now you took me back to my childhood in South Africa and England. Pearled onions and those little small ones are used for pickled onions. And so if you're doing a charcuterie board, you could take, and they do them like, they put them on toothpicks and skewers as part of cocktail food is pickled onions. And we're sitting there going, okay, wait a minute, we got to start pickling these and putting them with a charcuterie board. It would be amazing for a glamping, little party. That's an idea. But when you have those little onions, to just throw them in a roasting thing, like a foil packet with the potatoes, it would be amazing. And if you're making kebabs, you've got the best onions. Are your onions from this country? Because they are good.
Yes, most of our onions come out of whether it's California, Oregon, Washington. We do sweet onions, red, white, shallots from Idaho. So we're very much known for our potatoes and onions, and all of our potatoes and onions are all domestic. Most of our potatoes actually come from Idaho, where most potatoes come from, because they're very much known for that.
Wow. Oh, I'm hungry now.
Great. I also mention, because I want to make sure this is in our conversation. If you go to melissas.com, put in Campfire. If you put in Campfire, it's going to list all the new camping recipes that we just incorporated onto our website. I know Lisa and Linda, you're going to be incorporating them some of these recipes in your newsletter or when the show airs there. And make sure, these are just an example of some of the different recipes that you can create when you're camping, and it's fun. We have a campfire nachos, a campfire breakfast hash, a campfire stone fruit dessert. I mentioned about the smoky quinoa power bowl, a chili polenta bowl, a tropical oatmeal bowl, or a foil pack veggie and soy riso.
So that's where I was going with the foil pack. Now, the soy riso, so is that vegan? What is that about?
Yes. So Melissa does a line of meat alternatives. It is a refrigerated product, so you'll have to keep it in your cooler, your mini refrigerator. It is a soy-based chorizo. So there's no chorizo beef meat in it. It's vegan, vegetarian, soy-based product. It tastes like meat, but it's all soy.
So a vegan sausage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Very cool. One thing too about going back in childhood, the other thing that came to mind with the products that you have, and it's going to those mushrooms in South Africa, and I know that this happens in this country. You have Dutch oven cooking in this country, and a lot of people do that in RVs and festivals and Wild West days and things like that. And the Southwest does a lot of it, but we would do what was called potjiekos, which is pot food. So it would be like a Dutch oven, like an old iron pot, and they would cook it all day long. So you're out hiking, but this thing would be slowly on the embers in the inside the ground, right? So like your potatoes, they'd put some meat in there, whatever it is, sausage. I mean, they'll put everything in there, man, whatever, So you throw all of that in, but the potatoes are so perfect for that. And the mushrooms, because we've used the mushrooms. Actually, you can grind them up and make a roux out of the mushrooms. So you want to make a mushroom sauce, grind those puppies up. It is good. And I learned about that from Chef Ivan Flowers on the show. I started talking about the mushrooms. He says, Lisa, grind them up and you can make a roux, like a nice sauce, a gravy out of it, like a really good gravy. And you can also use it to with some breadcrumbs to do a really nice coating for a meat or something like that. So the mushrooms you can go to the ends of the earth with, but we've done all kinds of slow cooked meats and with stews and things like that by using the mushrooms in there, because they reconstitute. You're supposed to reconstitute them with hot water first, but you can just throw those suckers in there, put them in some, we add wine, of course, to it all, but they come out and they add this earthy deliciousness to those kinds of meals. So if people are doing those, what I call potjiekos, I encourage you to load it up with these mushrooms for something completely gourmet and tasty. It's goodness. I don't care what meat you're putting in there.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Good.
I think I sent you guys packages of the medley, which is a mixture of the different dried mushrooms. However, you might have a favorite in particular. And even though they're fresh varieties that are very seasonal, the Melissa's dried mushrooms are available on a year-round basis. Our most popular one is actually dried porcini. Most popular is dried morel and chanterelles. But if you look at the Melissa's line, you'll see the medley, oyster, portobello, shiitake, depending on what flavor. And just like you said, you can grind it up. And the key is you can use it like salt and pepper, but add the dry mushroom at the beginning when you put it into the skillet, the iron skillet, when you do like slow cooking with meats and stuff, because you want the flavors to infuse with everything else that you're also cooking in the pot. So.
Very cool. No, I am hungry now. Who's ready for a barbecue? It's about to snow. I'm going to go to the store now before it snows and go see where we are now if they have Melissa's produce. And if not, I'm going to complain.
Yeah, I do. I always say, where's your Melissa's stuff? They said, oh, you know about that? I said, yeah, I would like this, this, and this. And well, we'll talk to my supervisor or whatever. And sometimes when I come back, it's there. So it's quite nice.
go to the produce department. That's normally where it is, But I saw this whole section at Ingles and I went, they're here.
Yeah.
They're here. You kind of do a little cheer and I'm like, we know. We know this. So Robert, thank you so much for being back on the show. It's always fun. And Diva Linda, man, we're lucky with our lifestyles, right? That we have these kinds of foods in our lives. Every time it's like Christmas. I'm like, we got the Melissa's delivery. It's Christmas again. And we're like, what are we going to do with this? But I will tell you this. I have never used dried mushrooms before. Like, you've got me cooking. Whether or not I'm doing it with butter is a whole other deal. But you've got me cooking things. And I always tell Nancy something interesting's coming out. And she goes, uh-oh. But then she goes, oh, all right, you're learning. So I want to just say that all these different products get you to be creative and to think. And the fact that you have recipes for people to work off of, if you don't know, these are easy. I mean, let me tell you, getting that quinoa in a package already ready, my gosh, right, Linda? That's polenta, all of that. We don't want to have to sit there, and I don't have time for that. I don't care whether I'm camping.
No,
I don't. All of these things are ready for use at home too, because I really don't have time to sit and take a beat and hope to hell I don't stain everything in the kitchen. Let somebody else steam it. And I don't know how to steam things well yet, and I don't need to. It's there, it's done. So thank you for that, Robert, everybody at Melissa's for all the work. And Diva Linda, we can't wait for next month. We always have good stuff going on.
Well, we'll see what we have for next month, and then see Robert again in June. We're going to talk about organic foods, so I think that will be very exciting.
I love that sustainability, man. It's good for our bodies too. So thank you so much, guys. You guys take care, and everyone happy eating and cooking and camping.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio with travel writer Linda Kissam. Keep up with Linda at allingoodtaste.info. You can read her articles in Big Blend magazines and keep up with us at bigblendradio.com.